Hello, precious people. I'm Jacqueline Parks, and today we're going to attempt to paint a lion. So that shouldn't be too much more different than painting a cat. I will show you a picture of my kitty and a painting I did of him from the side. And so the one that we're doing today is going to be this line in this corner. Let's see. So we're going to be painting this lion. And I already did the sketch, which I've shown in a video on one of my shorts. I guess I did it as a short. I don't know how I uploaded it, but basically it's just showing you how to use DaVinci Eye. There's probably better videos out there that you can Google and find on how to use it. But it's an app, it's on my phone, and it makes it super easy to trace any photo that I have on my phone. So it's super easy. I recommend that you definitely download that app onto your phone if you can. I'm not sure which I know iPhone can support it, and I even think it's free now for iPhone. You might have to pay if you have Galaxy or Samsung or whatever. But yeah, definitely Google that in your app store and see if you can download that. So let's get busy because I'm not sure how long this is going to take me. It's kind of a larger painting than I'm normally doing. So this is one of my brand new. I just bought this at Michael's. And I'll tell you how much this is at Michael's. It's like $24. I had a coupon for 40% off. So I got it for 40% off. Plus I had a $5 coupon in my rewards from Michael's. So download that app too if you don't have it. And you can start saving money as you go shop for art supplies. I am actually looking into being an affiliate for Michael's. I don't know. I probably don't have enough people that would buy to make it even lucrative, but I'm not doing this to be lucrative. I'm doing this to help y'all. In fact, these paintbrushes are the ones I recommend from Michael's. They're super inexpensive, yet they're very, there's actually a fifth one somewhere. I don't know where it is, but that's okay. I always say experiment. Like, I just bought these off Amazon. I'm not sure how it's holding up. These ones are holding up great. And what I want y'all to notice is the softness. You gotta have soft ones for your watercolors. Anyways, so we're gonna use a mixture of those, and then as I do the eyes, I'll get more detailed with my really nice, expensive paintbrushes, and maybe even some of these. And we're gonna definitely be using my white gel pen for whiskers at the end, so stay tuned to the very end and you will get to see all of that. I already had fun outside with my kitties this morning playing with them. I do have a second YouTube channel if you want to go watch my animals interact with each other and stuff. They're super cute. Alright, so what am I going to do first? I think what I want to do, I like to just start with the subject. So, I have hair stuck on it. So let's just start with wetting all of this. And I don't know if I have any clean water, to be honest, over here. So I'm going to have to pull up one of my photos of him. Let me see if I can do that real quick, so that I don't have to keep looking at a teeny tiny picture on the screen. And then I can zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. So right underneath this eye, I don't know if you can see that in the photograph, but it's kind of a lighter color. And also the chin is real light. So what I'm going to do is just kind of wet everything except for right under the eyes. And I will tell you that I've been wanting to paint a lion. It's just really a majestic animal, so pretty. For me, the hardest part of painting this was picking a photograph as a reference because there were so many good ones. And I was kind of debating whether or not this was the one. This was the first one I saved to my phone, so I was kind of like, okay, this is it. But then, of course, um, I kept looking for probably another half hour and then ended up using the first one I picked. So there, got some water on my paper, just kind of getting it nice and wet. In my pencil line, you probably can barely see it in the video. It is definitely light. I don't like to use a dark line because then you'll end up having to either erase them or lighten them in some way. So another thing I wanted to paint a lion for was look at all these oranges that I've not even used up that much. This one a little bit, but this one definitely have not used up that much. So I wanted to kind of get in here and use some oranges. I think my painting last week was using the oranges maybe. I can't remember now. But another really, this color is like, I think burnt sienna. It's burnt umber or burnt sienna. I can't remember. So that's a pretty color as well for a lion. And my reference photo isn't too orangey, but I'm going to make it kind of orangey. So right now we're just going to get at it. I'm going to go in and paint kind of the inside here. And then I'm going to paint some over here. And we're just putting down that first wash. This is not our do or die part of the painting. We can just enjoy just kind of putting color down and not really worrying too much about how it looks just yet. We will at some point. So, and of course, I'm not just going to use the oranges in my palette. I'm going to use some blues and some Payne's Gray, of course. If you haven't bought Payne's Gray yet, definitely need to do that. But right now I'm just kind of getting this first wash on here. And keeping my eye on that reference photo. I cannot just imagine what I'm painting. I have to actually look at it. I'm sure there's people out there who can just paint from memory, which totally makes me jealous because that's amazing. My daughter can draw from her imagination, which is just amazing. So I love that. As you can see, as this is drying, check it out. It's definitely, it's doing something here. The colors are bleeding out. It's really pretty. And I'm just going to see if I can get some of my yellows in there now. So I like that you can see my palette and check out what I'm doing. Because I don't want you guys to be guessing as to how I'm making this. So I'm mixing different colors. Now I'm putting my yellow ochre. I think that's what this one is. I'm just gonna add it in places here. I got kind of some chunks in there. Just blend those in. But, just kind of try and be careful around the eyes because those are the ones that are going to be making the most detail. So I don't want it to be messed up. I just want it to look kind of good. So I'm just going to keep adding this lighter color in here of the yellow. And I don't know if it's kind of shiny on the paper. Let me see what it's looking like. There's a little bit of glare. It's not too bad. So yeah, just let me know in the chat if you need me to change the angle. Normally I tilt my board just a little bit. I didn't do that today. So if it's not looking real good, let me know. But right now it's kind of doing this nice fuzzy thing. I'm gonna go even lighter. Here's my kind of lemon. This is lemon yellow. This is probably cad yellow. So just kind of putting some spots here and there. Again, just kind of watching where I'm putting things. And I'm not quite ready to do a lot of texture yet. I'm just kind of putting stuff in right now. Just letting it do its thing on the paper. Because that's what's so great about watercolors. You just let it do what it's gonna do. And sometimes you can get frustrated with that. I know when I was younger, and I did actually take some class that was it was a watercolor class, but I probably blocked it out and didn't remember taking it for the longest time because it just was frustrating to try and put so much water on a paper and then try and paint on it. So for me, it was not the best. It was not the best class for me. So now I'm going to use some Payne's Gray. See, there's already a bunch of stuff on my palette that I haven't cleaned off. And I'm just going to add it in here. And see what it does. Like, how does it blend in there? And there's like so much in that lion's mane. There's even some right here by the ear. That looks really cool. And I'm going to put some in there. And see, that's the Payne's Gray. What I might end up doing is put a little of this blue in there, make it a little more blue. Look at that pretty kind of grayish blue. So now I can do that. That adds a lot of interest. And the shadows aren't always just black or gray. They have definitely some different colors in them depending on their surroundings. So now I'm kind of going to go in here and add some of this in there and just see what it does. Sometimes you do a mark on your paper and you're like, ooh, no, it's not what I wanted. The best thing to do in that situation is have some paper towels handy, and then you can try and lift it off. But like right now, I'm just kind of doing a little bit of this bluish color. And I'm keeping this real loose right now. I'm not trying to make it super detailed right now. I'm just kind of doing a little bit here and there. So yeah, I like how it's looking. And definitely gonna get some good shadows from this color in there. And again, a lot of times when I'm doing a commission for someone and it's their family pet or someone's friend's pet has passed and they want me to paint it for them to give to them, I pray beforehand. I ask the Holy Spirit to come in and help me to create something that will be treasured by the recipient and that will comfort them as well. Because we love our animals. I love mine very, very much. And um, I have basically a little mini zoo at my house. And each one is just so precious to me. So I feel that when someone is definitely wanting to have a picture done of their animal, then the most important thing is to be very respectful of that and have compassion and caring for that. And so that's what I try and do when I paint. So this is turning, ooh, I'm just loving this already. Like it's looking like a lion. It's totally looking like a lion. Um, so yeah, I hope y'all are having a good Monday. I'm having a really great Monday. And see, this is kind of the stage where I would let it kind of dry before I start doing more detail on there. I probably could do the background, and I'm not sure if I like the background that's in that painting. It looks a little, I mean, it is blurry. It's got like some kind of green foliage and then like rocky cliffs behind it, which isn't horrible, but I'm wondering like what would be better, like to just do a black background. Um, would that be very striking to have it be darker or have it be lighter? Because sometimes the white background is kind of pretty. Um, but I kind of like dark. I don't know if I like dark. Maybe I do. We should try it. So I'll mix up some of my Payne's Gray here. I don't know. Sometimes when I want to mix a black, I just mix a couple different colors together. Like, look at all my purples here. Got like 3 purples. And I mix those in there. And that's what that Payne's Gray. So I don't know. Do I want to like, once you do it though, it's kind of like you're gonna do it. So I'm gonna look at my reference photo one more time and make sure that's what I want to do. And I was watching this one guy, Tom Shepard. He said something about a windmill technique, and it wasn't the windmill itself that was the technique. It was just a picture of the windmill, and it had highlights and darks, and it had different areas. So like some of the light went into the light spots in the background, some of the dark went into the dark spots in the background, and some were contrasted. So light on dark, dark on light. This I'm not really sure. There's like right in here, I'm seeing that there would be a darker cave looking, and then down here is lighter. Up here is kind of like neutral colors. So I'm not really sure if I want to make this completely dark in the background. But it does look good when you do it, so maybe I will do it. Here we go. Of course, all of my lion is still kind of damp right there. So like if I were to touch it, it would have bleeding effects. So I'm not really sure if I want that just yet. But it's so therapeutic, y'all, just to see a blank page turn to life as you're creating. And just enjoy the process, you know. When I'm not painting for y'all on a live video, I can put on some music or a podcast and just do that and enjoy just spending some time. Just enjoy creating. I've been debating whether or not I want to do this one art show that's in Orlando. It's not really an art show, it's an animal conference. It's for like YouTube influencers, and I've been wondering if I really want to do it or not. It's going to cost money. It's far away. It's 3 days, so that's a lot of talking for me. Which I guess I could talk. I mean, when I do 1 day shows, my voice is hoarse the next day. So if I'm doing 3 days, I'll probably not be able to talk on day 2. So that's another thing. And there are art shows that are local that are 3 or 4 days that I've kind of debated doing because they can be grueling as well. Let me see some of these. Now, if I get too much dark into here and my little wispy hairs of the lion aren't going to show too good, guess what? I will go in with my white gel pen at the end and it'll be fine. But I am kind of liking this kind of purpley background. What do y'all think? It's kind of cool, huh? Let's see, get right up in there. It's already drying. Look at those hard edges right there, but that's okay. I can always go back in with a darker. Get some of that purple in there. See, this is another thing I'll teach y'all in class is to mix enough of the same color so that you don't have to keep going back in and mixing more, like because you ran out. And see, that's just pretty. And we can even do some splatters. Oops, going in my little lion. Sorry, lion. Let's see, that's why I should have some paper towels. But that's okay if it got wherever. See how wet that still is, y'all? That is still super wet. And this is Arches. I'm used to using that, what do I use? I don't even have it here. I think it's Canson XL. That's what I use normally. And it's definitely, it dries a lot faster than this paper. So it's just, if you're going to start getting real serious about art, you should probably look into buying that kind of paper. I want to see what's going on the internet because normally I have a few people join me. I want to make sure I'm live and that y'all are being able to hear me. Oh, it looks like it. Oops. What's going? Mute. So it does say you have a couple people watching. Okay, so no one's commenting in the chat. You know how it is. I like you guys to like and at least leave a comment to say hi. And let's see. That helps with the algorithm, of course. Well, my line, it's looking so pretty. It is looking so pretty. Do I like this angle right here? I don't know. I don't know if I like that. And I do like a lot of this. It's kind of looking really kind of pretty. But like I said, this is a different paper that I'm used to. This is more expensive. But as you get more and more professional with your painting, you should invest in higher quality paints, higher quality paintbrushes. I still use this set. I really like it. These two are basically, I would say, the same, although this one says it's a 12 and this one says it's a 14. So if I wet this, does it look any different? Let's see. I should get my little hair dryer out. I guess the 14's a little bit, oh, there we go. See the difference? The 14 might be just a little bit bigger. That's this one. This is the 12. But yeah, I'm going to be doing something with this one. It might be a 6. All the stuff rubbed off. I'm not sure why. But that's okay. We don't really need it, do we? But here's the eye. And I'm just going to wet that real quick. And add the eye is like a kind of a greenish yellow. So there's a little bit of green. Look at that. I already have some right there. So I'm just going to add that in there and dab it. Look how pretty. I love that. Super pretty. And rinse. And I wish I had my paper towels. I don't know where they went. I don't really feel like walking all the way over to the kitchen. But normally I have like several rolls of paper towels in here. So, oh, and I did just throw away all the paper towel except I did find this one. So we'll use this one. So I can lift off just a little bit around here. And there is going to be a highlight with the reflections in the eyes. That's really going to bring a lot of detail out. Ooh, I almost dipped in my tea. That would have been funny. What color will we use for that? Yellow. So I kind of like this. Let's see what happens if I just very lightly touch. And I think in the replay of this, you can go in and zoom in while the video is playing. So if you guys want to watch this again, you can do that. Or if you're watching the replay, you can definitely go in there and zoom in. I've done that on several videos that I watch. Even started doing that with Paul Clark, even though he's pretty good about zooming in for you. But there's some areas that maybe you want to get even closer in there than they do. So you can do that with anybody's videos. Look at that. I love that. Just that little bit of orange in there. Oh, so pretty, so pretty. It's a pretty kitty. All right, let's see. This is going to end up probably being more of the darks in there. And I didn't really put that green in there, but that's okay. I wish you could see my screen, how I zoom in on the photo. I enlarge it. So I don't know if you guys ever do this when you're like reading a book. If you're like, you know what, I need to zoom in because my eyesight is not that great. And so like, let's say like you're looking at something like this and you're like, I can't see it. And it's paper, but you can't zoom in on paper. So unfortunately, can't do that. But when you have a photo, you can zoom in on your phone or on your laptop. And that's kind of what I like doing for this. Let me see. I'm going to start going darker now. Let's get some Payne's Gray for that nose. And the nose is going to be, I already kind of left some of it light because that's where the sun is kind of hitting. And see, it's getting nice and dry right in there, so that's good. I can follow that line that I already did. And just kind of go around and follow down here. Sometimes it is a little nerve-wracking to paint live just because I'm like, doing it good. But it's turning out pretty good so far. I'm liking it. And, oh, there's a pretty butterfly outside the window. I wish you guys could see. There's beauty everywhere, y'all. Just inspiration everywhere. My friend Marianne and I were on the phone chatting, texting, and kind of encouraging each other to paint. And she was showing me a beautiful flowers that she painted. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to try and paint something too. So definitely get like a buddy that will help you and encourage you, because when we're doing things like this, we can get discouraged very easily, because of our own thoughts in our heads. But when you have a friend who's doing something with you like this, then you can actually encourage each other and inspire each other to keep doing what you're doing. And maybe you're not doing this for to sell. Maybe you're doing it because you just enjoy it, and that's kind of that is a very good reason to do something, is because you enjoy it. God let us have this life, and if you're not enjoying it, then there's something wrong, because life is a gift. And I'm just really grateful for the ability to have this talent that He's given me, and I enjoy it, and I hope that He's pleased with how I'm sharing it with others. I do sell my paintings, and I do craft shows and things like that. So it's very, it's very nice when I go and I have people say, "Hey, I'll buy that painting from you," and it's like they liked it enough, they're gonna spend money. That's like crazy in my mind, but it's also very, it's very encouraging to know that what I'm doing is appreciated not just by myself but by others. So I really like that I've been able to do that. Well, these eyes, I could just tap a little bit in there, and it's still wet, so it's gonna end up doing something that I may not want it to do. Hold on. Gonna go around this. See, this is when you need like little brushes. So sometimes I have big brushes for large areas, and I don't normally paint super large paintings. This is kind of large for me. I've done a really big one before for my neighbor. She's like the one that really encouraged me to start doing commissions, because she had me paint a house that was her husband's childhood home for him. And when she told me the size, I was like, okay, and this is the price. And she's like, okay. And I was like, mm. So then I had to actually do it. So I did, and it turned out really beautiful, and he loved it. So right now I'm just kind of getting some of these lines in here that are making it. Let me see if I can zoom out now on my painting so I can see what the whole picture looks like. And sometimes if you don't want it too stark, you just add a little clean water on top of something, and it lets it kind of bleed out a little, which I like. And you can see how that's looking when I kind of wiggle my brush out just a little bit there. Oh, he's turning out so pretty. I like him. So now we're going to add some into the ear area. And there is some hair that's kind of going over that. But right now I'm going to just add these darker spots. It's still pretty wet in there. This paper really holds water. Which, when I've been getting used to using that cheaper stuff. I should say less expensive, but definitely it makes a difference, y'all. And then there's some hairs in there. And this is a little wider. it's probably not as jagged. That's looking pretty good. And then there's going to be some nice hairs. I'm not sure if I'm ready to get into the details over here yet. Maybe not. Might do some of the orange back in here and bleed that out with it. And that just kind of makes it more what it's supposed to. Let's see, a little darker in there. There's this guy that I follow on Instagram, and he paints portraits of humans. And I mean, I think he's done other animals as well, but the humans is what makes me just in awe and of his paintings. And I appreciate that he posts these speed paint videos of it, and it's like, how did you do that? How? But he'll do like where he makes like one little line for the hair and like a light color for some shadow, and it's just crazy how much it changes it when he starts doing that. Now see, I'm just kind of adding some right in here with this little brush. This little brush is doing all kinds of work here for me. Let's see. I do need some of that dark back in there. And there's like dark in this mane. I'm just trying not to be too exact. And you don't want these hairs to be the same distance apart. You need to make sure that you're keeping it natural looking, because if it starts to get too uniform, it's not going to look realistic. But see, already I'm getting some detail in there. Getting some more dark. There's like supposed to be a shadow in there maybe. And then I'll get some more in here. That shadow in there is so important. And it's just going to make it really pop when you have the shadows just right. It's a little bubble right there. Pop it. Let me see. That's kind of going around. And you can add some of the fur in there. Again, don't keep it too uniform. Let's see. Now I like these little dots that are on there. The lion's muzzle. it just kind of goes in there, and they're a little lighter down in here. But down in here, got some dark. And see, as that's drying, I can get that dry brush feel in there. Just like that. And what's in here? Definitely got to bring this out. Maybe. And then there's some hairs right here for the mane. Let me see, add some more of that Payne's Gray to that. And that really gives you a nice gray. I like that. It's got to be a little bit of trying to keep that line. I think there should be, I may end up darkening this part instead of lightening that because I like how it's looking. There we go. That's looking so good. At least I'm liking it. I hope you all are too. I'm actually going pretty quick. I think there was one time I was painting something and I was running out of time. Was it the angel statue I was trying to do? I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how long it's going to take me to paint something. Oh, but I was going to tell you, my friend Marianne and we were talking about painting Jesus. And I really am not that great with painting people. So I don't know. I would love to try it. I don't know how good I would be. But I would love to try and paint him. I have done a drawing before in the back of one of my Bibles. And then I also painted him just like a quick sketch, so nothing that was supposedly to sell, but it did turn out. I liked it. And so yeah, I might give it a go again. Might try it again. But it's one of those things where I want to try it, but again, I'm holding my own self back because I'm just not sure if I can pull it off. But don't let stuff like that. I shouldn't let that affect me. I should definitely go for it. Not be concerned if it's going to be good or not, because it's my passion and I love Jesus, so why not? I'm going to add some water into here, but look at how the water is being soaked up into this. It is like really, it's a really amazingly different than the others that I've had. The other paper I've had. So it definitely makes a difference. And a lot of times I do my commissions on 300 pound, which is even thicker. But sometimes I don't really, I don't know, I don't like it as much. Let's see if I did too much in there, I can lift up. I think it's gonna darken that area. I'm trying to figure it out right now. Letting my eye kind of look at the reference photo. Yeah, letting it. And some people buy some Mars. I think it's called Mars Black, to get some really dark blacks. But again, I like mixing. So like my Payne's Gray with these purples, with these blues, with these oranges. I mean, just mix everything together, and that pretty much gives you black. I don't know if I left this light enough, to be honest. But that looks pretty good, huh? Make this darker right in here. And up here. Yeah, it's looking good. Let's see, get some of these. And just very, very fine details with this little brush. I think I want this to have some darker in there. Just let the brush kind of do its thing. You can do that side and let the rough paper look like part of it. That's always a great technique. It's just let the roughness of the paper. And I need to do some more up here. I think this is supposed to be darker. Yeah. If you can kind of look at the reference photo along with me, you'll see that's supposed to be a lot darker in there. So let's see. It's looking really pretty, but I think it's missing some details still. So let me zoom in and see what I can do here. There's like some darker hairs up here. And some dark right in here. And in that ear. And let's see, in here. I like it when I just do a few little strokes and it makes it look so much better. It's like, yes. There's definitely going to be a lot darker in here. Oh, I did bring some tea, which I've almost dipped my paintbrush in a few times. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you tried painting any lions? Do you want to do something that challenges you? What subjects are you guys interested in painting. My one friend, Tana, she sent me a text saying she would love to paint seahorses, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So I did actually try painting a seahorse the other day, just for fun. Kind of more of an abstract, to be honest, which was, I really kind of like abstract. You don't really have to know what you're doing. You don't have to know how to draw. You just kind of put stuff down, and enjoy the process, basically. Let's see. I'm trying to make this not be too uniform, y'all. Down here, the lion's mane has lots of ins and outs. So like there's a lot there's a lot of these almost kind of triangle shapes that I'm looking at on there, and I can kind of see that they're here and there. So it's kind of like you can paint every single one, or you can just let our minds fill those in for us. I definitely want to get some more, I think, yellow in there, and just put just a few, not like the whole thing. But that'll make it look a little bit more put together, I guess. And that fur, just kind of letting it go here and there. I might even use that burnt umber a little bit in there. Mix that with the burnt sienna and burnt umber is what I think both of these are. Oh yeah, look at that. That looks really pretty. And it's just giving that texture of the fur. I'll just put some more of that in here, get some more highlights and more shadows. I'm just liking that. And so definitely play around with doing stuff like this. Don't be shy about it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen is your painting ends up in a trash bin, which I've actually never thrown any of my paintings away. I just kind of, I don't know. I made it, so I'm like, I like it. I'm not gonna throw it away. But, I don't know about you guys. Sometimes I've talked to people and they're like, oh no, I'm not keeping that one. Mm-mm. And so yeah, I think those are just too stark. I'm gonna do that. And I'm gonna need some of this blue, I think. I'm gonna mix it with the orange just a little bit and water it way down, okay? So it's not gonna be super saturated, but what I'm gonna do is, oops, a lot in there. See that? That kind of makes this white muzzle have a little bit more shadow in some places, and more fur-like. And then I can put it under the eyes as well, because this was the area I was trying to keep it a little lighter. But yeah, I like how that's turning out. I need some more dark in here. It's really interesting to watch this come to life. Um, in that area, there's lights and darks in here. It's real hard to kind of figure them out. I'm just kind of putting paint wherever. And if I don't like it, I can always go back in and change it. But just having fun, y'all. Just have fun. This is a great hobby that's just, you know, to enjoy, I think, because you don't have to have a lot of supplies to start. You don't have to have a lot of training. You don't need a lot of space. I started by painting sitting on the couch, so it was very um, didn't even require a studio. I just enjoyed. See, I'm just gonna add. This is like real thick in here because I want this super darker. Super darker. Yeah, I want some dark in here. I don't think it's dark enough. That's why I want it to kind of be. And see, sometimes this happens. You guys are witnessing something that doesn't always happen, but my hand just kind of goes kind of nuts by itself, which is so cool because I feel like that's the Holy Spirit just kind of moving and doing things without me having any thought process, which I love. Love it. I need some more orange. And you definitely need some darks right there. Right there. Ooh, I like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See if I zoom in my picture again. And there definitely needs to be some more darker areas in here. Like thicker. Thicker, is that a good way to describe that? I guess. There we go. Like how that's turning out. That's looking pretty good. Let's see. There's definitely some in there. A little bit darker. Just a little bit more in here, maybe. Maybe just in here a little bit. Oh, thank you, Kathy, for saying it's looking very nice. You like the background better because it emphasizes light. Okay, cool. Yeah, I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do with the background. But I think I like the purple. It kind of goes well against the yellows because those are contrasting. So yeah, I might just leave it like it is. I kind of like how it looks atmospheric and the focus is the lion. So now I'm looking a little bit more and see if there's anywhere else I can add some of this little bit of fur. Let's see how that's just bringing it out. Just adding a little bit of this. Just a little bit of this darker colors. It gives it a little bit of, I don't know, just gives it a little bit more contrasting in interest. Let's see what else. No, I need more orange, more orange. I'm trying to keep an eye on that time because, you know, an hour goes by pretty quick. And see that kind of dry look right there. That looks pretty good. What is the expression on his face, do you think? My lion. Has he got any wisdom? Probably. Let me look and see what it's looking like. Yeah, I'm liking that. That looks pretty good. I want to add the white part to his eye, maybe. Look at the picture reference so I know what I'm doing. Maybe add a little bit of a blue to add a little bit of a shadow on the eye. And see, like, I like to mix all my colors together. I know some people probably cringe. They see that and they're like, ugh, what is she doing? So I'm going to add a shadow in there. But it's going to have to be keeping a little bit of that white in there as well. Because the shadow is going across that eye. So I need it to be making that a little bit in shadow. Yeah. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. It's looking really good. Might have to put a little bit of shadow on that nose area. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Get some of those little circles in there. Yep. I like that. That looks good. And then my jelly roll. Let me see. And that's what's great about reference photos. Y'all can do what you want with them. So there's no right or wrong. Don't know if this is dry enough. It may not be. Yeah, that's really damp. I'm gonna have to wait for that to dry. But once it's dry, I will use this to create some whiskers that are coming out of his muzzle area right here. Not too many, just a little bit. So I think that's pretty much done. We did go over an hour. I'm sorry about that, y'all. But hopefully you enjoyed this painting. So yeah, it was really fun for me to try painting this lion. I've been trying or wanting to paint a lion for a while. I've done some drawings of them and colored with colored pencils in my Bible, which you know I do Bible art journaling. So that was a really powerful page that I did, the Lion of Judah. And so with this one, I wanted to give you guys some scripture that I looked up about lions, which there's a ton of references to lions in the Bible. So definitely you can Google that and check it out yourself. But let me read this one for you. And while I read it, we can look at the painting. So Proverbs 28:1 says, "The wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are bold as lions." And that part, the righteous are bold as lions. Okay, so that to me means that we can be bold as a lion when we are in Christ, because he gives us the strength that we need. Another one I really liked, it didn't mention lions, but it definitely can relate to a lion, which is 1 Corinthians 16:13-14, and it's be courageous, be strong, do everything in love. Lions are very majestic animals, and the Bible talks a lot about them, and but we have to remember that it also says that your enemy prowls around like a roaring lion trying to seek someone to devour. So definitely keep in prayer and be aware that this world is not our home, that we are looking forward to the day when Jesus returns, and he is our Lion of Judah. He is the one who has already won the battle. So we don't even need to worry or be afraid because we trust in him. And I hope you all have a blessed day. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.